Shalom. I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, that rule well. Peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. Shalom and a Baba Ball. All right, this lesson, Lord's will, I'm going to entitle it, He that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. You know, and what I mean by that, He that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. Well, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Let's get the scripture on it. Matthew 23. I start at around verse 8. It says, "But be ye not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and all ye are brethren." Right? You know, so there's nothing wrong with you know, respecting brothers for their lot and their order and this knowledge of ours. Okay, but you don't want to be, you don't want to basically have men worshiping you as you're something more than you are. Than you are. You know, like the Apostle Paul said, you know, lest I be exalted above measure. You know, if any man, and there's another scripture where it says, if any man thinketh to himself that he is something when he is nothing, you know, he deceiveth himself, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so you don't want to be exalted above measure. You know, you don't want to have men worshiping you, you know, and you know, you want to give all the honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, so to speak. And as well, you want to stay humble. And there's nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, commending a brother for his wisdom and his, let me just get the scripture. 1 Thessalonians 5, and I'll start at verse 11. It says, "Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do." Verse 12, "And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you." Right, so you're supposed to know who's over you in the spirit, right? Verse 13, "And to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves." Right, okay? You know, so it's okay to know, you know, a brother might be over you in the spirit, and, you know, to respect that brother, so to speak. But as far as a brother who might be over you in the spirit, or a brother who might be of a higher ranking, or whatever the case may be, you know, or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But the point is, he that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. All right? Meaning you have to be humble, man. You know, just because you're quote unquote established in this truth of ours and this knowledge of ours, man. You know, you don't want to be acting like you're greater than the next man. You know, it's only of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua that you have this knowledge to begin with. So let's go ahead and just get into it in the spirit. You know, the spirit will take care of what needs to be said. Matthew 23 and verse 8, "But be ye not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and all ye are brethren." Verse 9, "And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Mashiach." All right, right. And this is basically saying, don't exalt men above their measure. All right. You know, the Apostle Paul did say certain men were his spiritual sons. All right. But was that a contradiction of the scripture? No. It's saying, like scripture say, you know, he was over them in the spirit to esteem them highly for work's sake. Like the apostles, they will be our spiritual fathers, so to speak, you know, because they have taught us the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. However, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Even the apostles say it all the time. We're not trying to be famous. We're not trying to be famous. You know, we get our glory in the kingdom, so on and so forth. Or even the apostles are trying not to be made like a deity, if you will, you know? That's the point, all right? I'm going to keep reading. Matthew 23 and 12, or verse 11. "But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant." All right, he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. You know, verse 12, "And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted." Okay, that's the point, man. So you don't want to be, you want to humble yourself, man. Abase yourself, all right, that you may be, you know, exalted in the sight of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. Let me see if I can find that scripture. All right. Salakia. Oh, Salakia. Exalted. I believe it's in the New Testament. Oh, no, okay. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, that's the point. All right. So it's not about, being over another brother in the spirit and acting like, what I'm saying, you're something more than what you are. It's all about having humility, man. You're supposed to be, the scriptures talk about being clothed with humility. Like in Psalm 73, it talks about how Esau wears violence as a garment, roughly paraphrasing. We're supposed to wear humility as a garment. You know what I mean? Meaning we're supposed to be covered in it, man. All right, let me get another one. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, starting at verse 1. The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Mashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. All right, so the Apostle Peter, he is an elder, All right, he was an elder back at the time because why? He was the head of the church under Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Shai set him up to be the head of the church, and it's all through the Spirit because why? Peter is King David coming back in the reincarnation. And what is the church of Yahweh Shai? The house of David. And Lord's will we be a part of that number. Nevertheless, verse 2, feed the flock of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Right, that's the type of spirit we should be coming in. All right, when we're doing this knowledge and we're doing this work. All right. Not by constraint, man. This shouldn't be something where you feel like you're forced to do it, man. Or it's a burden unto you. All right, it's like it says, but willingly. Like the Church of Berea, it says they search the scriptures daily, man. They were of a ready mind, okay? Not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. All right, not for filthy lucre. Yeah, you're not doing this thing for money, man. You're not selling breakdowns and stuff like that, man. All right, verse 3. Neither as being lords over Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's heritage. That's the point. Neither as being lords over the Lord's heritage, man. Okay? It's not what this is about. It's not about being, exercising or usurping authority over another one. All right? But what? It says, neither as being lords over Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's heritage, but being ensamples to the flock. Okay? Right. Being ensamples to the flock, man, meaning you're setting the example. You're setting the bar for the flock. Verse 4, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, which is Yahweh Shai, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Verse 5, likewise ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yeah, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Yahweh Bashim Shai resisteth the proud, and giveth the grace to the humble. All praise Yahweh Bashim Shai. This is scripture. Verse 6, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that he may exalt you in due time. Right, so that's the point. You have to humble yourself, man. Scripture talk about how humility comes before honor. All right. Nevertheless, the point is, he that is greatest among you, let him be your servant, man. So, hey, that's what it's all about, man. Having humility, man. Just because you may be on a level doesn't mean that you abuse that office, man. Okay, especially when you're on that level, you should be much more mindful of that, man. Okay, because it's a serious thing. Hey, it's a serious thing. Letting one soul go astray, much less leading a whole congregation, man. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this real quick. Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered, as the judge of the people is himself. Right, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being ensamples to the flock. So I'm going to read it again. Sirach 10:2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Okay, right. So The way you are is the same way the men under you will be, man. Okay? That's why the apostles and elders, that's why the men of Great Millstone, all right, under the apostles and elders of Great Millstone are so diligent. Why? Because the apostles and elders of Great Millstone are very diligent, man. Okay? You know? And you could take it on the left-hand side. Esau is ruling the world. That's why the world is so corrupted. That's why the whole creation, that's another reason why the whole creation groaneth, man. Because these devils are in rulership. You know, well, the scriptures say when the wicked are in rulership, you know, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So it goes to show you, you know, roughly paraphrasing. Verse 4, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. Now, you might have some people who get simple and say, it says a king, you know, but you have to think about it. Even if you're a leader in a group, in a sense, you're still a king. You know what I mean? You're a king over that group. You're the leader. All right? A king really represents that leadership role, man. All right? An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Point blank, period, man. That's the point. You know, so you have to be careful about how you lead in the flock of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And we're going to stay in the book of Sirach real quick. I want to get this. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 32, starting at verse 9. It says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Okay, right. So this is for brothers, you know, like myself. All right, if I, you know what I'm saying, brothers who are young in this thing of ours. You know what I mean? When you're among great men, you're not supposed to be making yourself equal unto them, man. All right. Nevertheless, the point being is what, you know? It's all about humility, man. Okay? Don't let your ego get to you. Verse 10. Before the thunder goeth lightning, and before a shamefaced man shall go favor. All right, right. Before a shamefaced man shall go favor. So shamefaced meaning what? That you're humble, you're a quiet brother, you're not really, you know what I'm saying, trying to take the lead, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? You just playing your role. You're shamefaced, man. You know, you're not you know, you have discretion as far as how you deal amongst the brethren and stuff like that. You know, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. You know, brothers can testify, man. I had such a problem holding my peace, you know. But, you know, I had to learn through the spirit, you know, and through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that I learned. But it is what it is, man. You know, it's all in the growth, but it is what it is. You know, I'm saying this, speaking up on my own experience, you know, just trying to edify and provoke brothers up to good works, man. All right, I got another one. Sirach 3, starting at verse 17. My son, go on with thy business in meekness. So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. Verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself. He that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Favor shall go before shame, or before lightning goeth, or after lightning goeth thunder, roughly paraphrasing, and favor shall go, or before thunder goeth lightning, and before a shamefaced man shall go favor, roughly paraphrasing, you know. So, hey, like scripture say, you know, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Verse 19. Many are in a high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, right? Mysteries are revealed unto the meek, man. All right, so it's important for you to stay humble, man, especially if you're on a high level, you know, or if you might have a certain status, if you will. You know what I mean? And I got a precept to bounce off that Sirach 32, okay? Because it says, when you're amongst great men, make not thyself equal to them. You know, like in this is in the 48 laws of power. You know, not saying that, you know what I'm saying, the 48 laws of power is the truth, but what it is spiritual because there's scriptures on it, man. All right, and we're gonna get it real quick. Proverbs 25, starting at verse 6. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. Right? Okay. Talking about what? Don't try to outshine the master, man. Like we read earlier in Sirach 32. All right. When thou beest among great men, make not thyself equal unto them, man. All right. And a perfect example that you can take from this, King David. King David was a perfect example of not trying to outshine the master. All right. Now, when you read the story about King David and King Saul, King David was obviously way much more of an attribute to be a king amongst the people than King Saul, of course. And King David found favor before a lot of people, so on and so forth, over Saul. However, what did King David do? He stayed humble, man. All right, and he would always exalt King Saul over himself, man. Even though King Saul was being wicked to him, he would always try to exalt King Saul over himself, man. He wasn't ever trying to outshine the master. All right. And King David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, man. That's a part of being wise, not trying to outshine the master, man. You know? And this is scriptural. This is actually scriptural. Even though it may be in the 48 laws of power, but guess what? That actually goes back to the scriptures, man. Okay? And we're reading the scripture on it right now. Proverbs 25 and verse 6. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For it is better, for better it is that it be said unto thee, come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen. Okay, right. And this scripture lines up beautifully with the scripture in the book of Luke, chapter 22, starting at verse 25. Luke 22 and 25. And he said unto him, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. Verse 26. But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger. Meaning what? He that is greatest among you, let him be your servant, you know? All right, let him be as the younger, meaning basically like, you know, you're a younger brother in the faith. His role in the body is really to just sit back and learn, man. All right, and just be ready upon when need is. You feel me? And to serve, and that's how it's really supposed to go. You know. But it says what? Yahushua said what? But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. So that's how you know. You know, that's how you know what it's talking about. Brothers who are young in the faith, you know, you're in the camp, you're in the body, so on and so forth. You're supposed to be basically ready to serve. You know, ready to serve, man. You know what I mean? And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. And like I said, I'm speaking off experience. I'm saying this with all humility, man. This is something that I had to learn myself, man. I had a problem not holding my peace, man. And I had to get rebuked a few times, but it is what it is, man. That's what open rebuke is better than secret love, man. You know, and I'm not going to make this about me, but I just wanted to say it because I've actually been through this before. So I know how it is, you know, to feel like that. But it is what it is, man. Everything, like 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, let all things be done decently and in order, man. And this is a part of the order. Read this again, man, because this is a heavy scripture. Luke 22, starting at verse 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. Verse 26, but ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. Verse 27, for whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth, right? Okay, so Yahushua was like that. And what does it say in Matthew 11? Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly. All right, so part of learning of Yahushua is to be what? Meek and lowly, because Yahushua was meek and lowly, man. All right, so Yahushua said it, but I am among you as he that serveth, man. Okay, and what does scripture say? The Son of Man cometh not to be ministered unto, but to minister. All right, to serve. You know? Verse 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. Right. We get tried. We get tempted. Just like the Lord did, man. All right. You have to suffer with Yahushua to be glorified with Yahushua. Verse 29. And I appoint unto you a kingdom as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Right. That's the point, you know. So the point is, Yahushua said what? I am unto you as one that serveth, man. Yahushua is lonely, is Slakia. He is lowly, all right? Lowly as in humble. Let's get that scripture. Matthew 11, starting at verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest, right? This truth is a labor, okay? And we have to work, you know, in this thing till we can't work anymore, all right? Yahushua said what? He'll give us rest, man, all right? Verse 29, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. Yahushua is meek and lowly, man. All right, and King David was very lowly, you know. Like I mentioned earlier, King David, he wasn't trying to seek the king's seat, man. He wasn't trying to seek the king's seat. King David was so lowly that when King Saul had sent his messengers to tell David that he wanted him to be his son-in-law, so to speak, King David was like, you know, who am I to be the king's son-in-law? You know, is it a light thing that me being like, you know, a Judite from Bethlehem be the king's son-in-law? You know, King David was very lowly, man. Okay, he was humble, man. 1 Samuel 18, starting at verse 18. All right, actually, I'll start at verse 16. I'll start at verse 15. I'll start at verse 14. Salakia. Verse 14. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord Yahweh was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came before them. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, verse 17. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter Merab, her will I give to thee. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. Right? So really King Saul was trying to set King David up. All right? So he was like, listen, I'm going to give you my daughter, but in order for you to get her, we're going to read it. Verse 18, and David said unto Saul, who am I, and what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? Verse 19. All right. Well, that's the point. I'll leave off on that. But that just goes to show you how lowly King David was, man. Okay? And he wasn't trying to seek the king's seat. He was not trying to seek the king's seat. I'm going to skip down to verse... I'm just keep reading. Verse 19. But it came to pass at that time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel, the Meholathite, to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased them. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, thou shalt this day be my son-in-law in the one of the twain. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly, and say, behold, the king hath delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. All right. And Saul's servants spake those words in the ears of David. And David said, seemeth it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I'm a poor man and lightly esteemed? Okay. Right. So that goes to show you how lowly King David was, man. Which lines up with Proverbs 25. You know. Let's go ahead and get it again. All right, seek not the king's seat, man. Okay, we have to be humble, man. We have to be lowly, and there's many more scriptures about being humble, but I wanted to skin the cat this way, you know, through the Spirit. Proverbs 25:6. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. Right, like we read in Sirach earlier. For it is better that it be said unto thee, come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen. Right, kind of like the parable where Yahushua, when he spoke about the wedding. All right, let me see if I can find that real quick. All right. Um, oh man, come on, man. Salakia. Getting a little beside myself. I'm gonna find that scripture, Lord willing. Yep, yep. Okay. Salakia. Um, yep, the Wadi Habashim Shai. Damn. This is Luke, the 14th chapter. And I'll start at verse 8. It says, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, all right, and what is this knowledge likened unto? This knowledge is likened unto a wedding, all right? The scriptures talk about how the kingdom of heaven is like the Lord creating a marriage for his son, so on and so forth, all right? And what are we? We're married unto Yahweh Shai, okay? The scriptures talk about the bride and his lamb. I mean, the lamb and his bride, Salakia, all right? Luke 14:8, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him, right? So sit not down in the highest room. Don't seek the king's seat, man. You know, take the low route. Be clothed with humility, man. All right? And this applies to, like the scriptures say, he that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. All right? Verse 9, and he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. Right? The scriptures talk about he that taketh authority therein shall be hated. That's in the book of Sirach. You know, seek not the king's seat, man. All right? It says, but when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room. All right? Meaning, take the humble route, man. Okay? That's where you should start, on the humble route. And that's something I had to learn. I'm not going to sit here and act like I had it all figured out, man. All right? I'll say it again. That's something I had to learn, man. And I'm saying it for you brothers to learn from that. You feel me? All right? But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Okay? You know, that's the point, man. All right? So I want to get one last scripture, Lord willing, and we'll close out. We'll go to the book of Proverbs 29 and 23. It says, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. All right, so it says honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. So you want to receive honor, be humble in spirit, man. All right, it says what? A man's pride shall bring him low, man. Okay, Proverbs 15 and 33. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. That's the point, you know. Lord's will, this video was edifying. I want to go ahead and say, call Halayim La Yahweh Bashim El Shai Bashim Kagradash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Live well. Peace and blessings to you like the Israel. Shalom and a Baba Ball.